Well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that?
Okay, so hear me out. I know I said I would come back and see how the series progressed at the end, but Lord D, this latest episode, damn! It's as divisive as a bum crack, and I thought, hey, I might as well follow Disney's footsteps and absolutely milk the ever-loving daylights out of it. Time to make them proud. So, similar to last time, let's quickly run over the basic sequence of events for episode 3 of Star Wars Acolyte, named Destiny, before we continue and tackle the big themes. And more specifically, because it's probably the reason why you clicked, what the fuckery is this time around. So, the episode is exclusively set on Brandok, home planet of the twins, 16 years ago. It covers the main events of how the twins were separated. Brandok, apparently otherwise uninhabited, is home to a group of so-called witches. No, not those witches. The other witches. What's the difference? Well, I mean, these ones are lesbians. Yeah. And unlike the witches of Dathomir, they don't practice magic, which is all green and cool and stuff. Which, by the way, is actually just a different interpretation of the Force. They believe in the thread. The thread, they believe, is something which weaves through everything in existence. It's not a tool or a force, slight dig there, to be used by others, but is a fact of life which surrounds us. The thread can therefore be pulled in order to perform feats. It was using this thread that Mother Anastasia, head of the Coven, who is also dripped the fuck out, by the way, she's got nice threads, pun intended, that she somehow created the children, the twins in question, within one of the other witches to carry. Fucking hell, we just started and there's already a smorgasbord to go over, such as parthenogenesis. Oh boy. The twins are meant to ascend to full witches, but Osha is not diggity down with that whole thing. She wants to go out there and see what's going on in the galaxy. Quick side note, I'm getting real tired of slapping positive connotations on evil, like inherently deeply malicious titles and entities. Witches are not good. They are not innocent. They're fucking evil bastards, man. Stop selling them as normal sisters, because those conjuring cunts are anything but. The ceremony begins, and as they do...
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Oh boy. I feel bad for the extras. But the ritual is interrupted, however, by the Jedi who catch wind of... It's Li Zhangji! Oh, okay, anyways. So this interruption is justified as training of children is banned by Republic law, considering the Force can be used pretty nastily if not under proper guidance and under guidelines. Fair enough, it's like letting a fella out on the street with a rocket launcher. Not a good idea. Which is funny, because every Joe Schmo seems to have a gun in Star Wars. From here on, we move at breakneck speeds. Osha wants to be a Jedi. May purposefully fails. Osha does not. May finds out. Gets pissy. Her sister wants to leave. So she decides, my sister can't leave if she's dead. Solid reasoning, kid. Taking matters into her own hands. So she traps Osha in her room, lights a fire, and fucks right off. Not efficient, kid. If you want to be a killer, you have to make sure that the person in question is dead. Watch him die. Screaming. This part, I imagine, feeds into the overall mystery of the show, because there are most likely some missing elements. When Osha escapes, everybody dead, in a big-ass group too. So the two twins meet again, opposite sides of the bridge. They both fall, Sol catches Osha, they both run for their lives. The mother seems to have gotten folded, because her body was smoking. Interesting. Anyway, that's the episode in a nutshell. There are two main points I'd like to discuss in regards to the episode. First, the new interpretation of the Force, and second, the creation of the twins. Now, this new concept of the thread has been subject to quite some debate, and it's not entirely clear to me what the contentious point is. The Force in Star Wars has always been more down to the philosophical interpretation of the user. The Jedi and Sith believe in light and dark, peace and passion. Furthermore, there's the concept of the Force functioning as two parts within the Force as a whole. The cosmic Force, which binds the galaxy and everything in it together, and the living Force, which is the life in each individual person, creature and plant, which the cosmic Force connects together. Furthermore, there is the concept such as magic, spelt with a K, so it's different. utilized by the Night Sisters of Dathomir, which use supernatural techniques to use both light and dark side techniques. Hell, there's even that one blind dude in Star Wars Rogue One, but, I guess that could just be the Force. So, with all those different interpretations of the Force already out there, the thread isn't entirely a novel approach. It does not fundamentally change Star Wars, unlike what some of the neckbeards are saying, but it's just a different take by a different group of people. Hell, it's even somewhat similar. The thread is woven through all of existence and all living things. The living force, which is the energy of all living things, connected and bound together by the cosmic force. The two concepts aren't exactly opposites. Oh boy, this next one is a bit more dicey. The creation of the twins. To sum it up, this shit ass, man. It's just a bit of a copy and paste of the birth of Anakin Skywalker, except it does have wider implications for the rest of the canon. The prophecy of the Chosen One, written over 1,000 years ago, said, "A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored." Real interesting that, and yet here we are, 100 years before the whole shtick goes down, with not one, but two born of no father. That's not even fucking tackling the how of the situation. Apparently we're just supposed to understand that NSA is so fucking absurdly cracked with the... Sorry, no, not the Force. The thread. That the space lesbian impregnated other space lesbians with a set of twins. This one has to be a tag on Rule 34, I swear to God. Of course, there are those who, as usual, flock to guzzle and gobble Disney's hairy nuts. There are three main pictures that seem to be obvious in regards to this defense. First, that Plagueis could and did influence midichlorians to create life, and therefore Anastasia does not break canon. Second, that Darth Sidious had a hand in the creation of Anakin Skywalker, so again, the twins do not break canon. And third, the lamest of them all, is that previous works in the franchise also had plot holes, and therefore everything is A-OK, and you're the problem for pointing it out. So, Darth Plagueis, mentor of Darth Sidious, was a powerful Sith Lord who, according to Sidious, had learnt the secret of life and death. So powerful was he that he could influence midichlorians to create life to extend his own, and to save those he cared about from death. He achieved this power through experiments that he conducted throughout his lifetime in pursuit of immortality. Unfortunately, Darth Plagueis the Wise was not wise enough to realize that the Sith doctrine of the Rule of Two meant that his apprentice was actively looking for opportunities to fold his shit in order to become a Sith Lord, which he did. And so these powers were supposedly lost, with Plagueis' secrets dying with him. Now, George Lucas initially stated that Sidious lied about Plagueis' powers to manipulate Anakin into believing that there was a way to save Padme. But let's assume for a moment that Plagueis' powers are indeed canon, as Disney intends them to be through the comics and the novels of Star Wars Legends, even though those aren't canon anymore. Even with that assumption, it's clear that no one else has ever learned these abilities, as Plagueis himself mentioned fears of the Force striking back at him for messing with powers that are beyond him. There was never any indication even of Plagueis tampering with or having a hand in Anakin's birth, meaning there was no evidence of Plagueis using these powers to create life at any point. Now, in regards to Sidious's potential involvement, things get really messy here, considering there are not one, not two, but three different sources to take into account. Those are the initial script for Revenge of the Sith, the comics, and Star Wars Legends, the novels. The script for Revenge of the Sith initially revealed that Sidious had used the Force to will the midichlorians within Shmi's womb to trigger the cell division which created Anakin Skywalker. This, however, is not only a redacted line, but it holds no weight, as by the logic we went for earlier, where we disregarded Lucas's word in favor of Disney canon, means that this whole point is naught. Additionally, there's, the fact that Palpatine is literally the fucking devil right there. That's the devil saying, "I made you." Palpatine is literally Satan. His words are his weapon of choice. You're going to take his words at face value. Surely you're not looking at the devil and saying, "Yeah, that seems legit." In favor of this canon, we can look to the comics. In the comics, we see Darth Vader in his astral form, navigating through the events of his life. Here he is shown Palpatine standing behind his pregnant mother, almost like he's conjuring something, linking back to Lucas's intentions behind the influence of Palpatine on the birth of Anakin. I can already hear some of you rejoicing about how you knew it didn't break canon after all. But hang on just a second. The author himself, in regards to this panel, states, quote, "The dark side is not a reliable narrator." Anakin, covered in red everywhere, red sky, red path, red mother. Satan right behind her. Methinks this could be dark side influenced. Therefore, according to the words of the author, methinks this is some bullshit. We are not witnessing the truth, we are witnessing Anakin's worst fears at the hands of the dark side. So, the final source, that would be the novels. Well, hey, what do you know? The one that Disney tried to deface is the one that has the answers we're looking for. In the Darth Plagueis novel, we follow as he conducts a myriad of experiments in order to pursue immortality via Sith alchemy. There is one crucial act which he and Sidious perform, however, which is a crucial element within the birth of Anakin Skywalker. Within the galaxy, dark and light is balanced within the Force. In order to give the Sith an advantage, however, and to cloud the judgment of the Jedi, the two flush out as much of the dark side as they can, tilting the balance in the universe between the two just a tiny bit into the favour of the dark. And that, my friends, is more than enough. However, Plagueis' actions, both in meddling with the midichlorians and in interfering with the balance of the Force, led to an equal and opposite reaction. The Force, as an equal reaction, triggered directly the conception of the being that would be come to known as Anakin Skywalker. Okay, so that brings us to the final part. Apparently, talking about breaking canon is bad, but my perspective on this is rather simple. If you're mad at people talking about simple, logical inconsistencies, shut the fuck up. Simple. Yes, we get it's a show about laser swords and wizards. Yes, we get there are giant worms and blob people. Does that mean the lore and canon is useless and is meant to be discarded? No, of course not, you dipshit. Suspending your disbelief is part of watching sci-fi shows, yes. But it's the lore and the rules that people make within their worlds that allows us to better immerse ourselves and form a better connection with these universes. Without them, there is no rhyme, no reason. Maintaining internal consistency is therefore about showing respect for the story and the audience's intelligence. When creators adhere to the rules that they've set, it makes the stakes feel real. If anything can happen without explanation, the story loses its impact. Why didn't Luke Skywalker regrow his hand or stick that shit back on like he's Ethan Winters? Because he fucking can't. There's a consistent narrative on something characters can and can't do. It allows us to think about creative solutions within the framework provided on what can and can't happen. It's okay to have different interpretations and show a different side of the Force. It is less okay when you do so within a context which is designed to alienate individuals and fans based on degrading a pre-existing franchise-wide understanding and challenging the existence of another core character. Pointing out these inconsistencies is not about nitpicking, it's about preserving the integrity of the creation. And yes, previous installments in the originals had inconsistencies, but they didn't have the full fucking weight of Disney's big fat wallet behind them, did it? That was one man. Now, more than ever, in modern filmmaking, there are few excuses. Anyways, that's it for now. Subscribe or get back to giving Disney the Gawk Gawk 3000.